Croeso Pub to the Summer Sale PSN sale. This is a massive sale, and I found so many good games for you. You can save over £400. That's nearly £500. So if you love saving money and playing some cool games, subscribe so you'll never miss a good sale again. You're welcome here anytime. Okay, this sale ends on the 3rd of August, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. First up is Absolute Drift Zen Edition. It was released in 2016, so it's 6 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £2.84, which is pretty decent, especially as this edition includes 5 midnight events, drift challenges, ghosts, and online leaderboards with replays. So you do get quite a bit extra in this edition for your money, which is great. This is an odd drifting game where you learn how to drift from apprentice to master in this unique game where you hone your drifting skills over a variety of drifting courses. It features unlockable vehicles, over 3 hours of electronic music, and a scoring system for that just one more try feeling, or competing online on the leaderboards. This looks like a really cool little game for this price, so if you like the sound of this, why not take a look at it? It's pretty different and unusual. We have a great VR game next, Apex Construct. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 60% discount for the price of £3.19. Which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, especially for VR, and especially for such a good game. This is an action-adventure RPG, where move controllers are required, so if you don't have them you can't play it. In this game you explore a shattered future, where 2 AI are locked in an endless war, and you must explore and solve puzzles to reveal the world's secrets, collecting resources to upgrade your weapons and equipment along the way. This game was created from the ground up for VR, and it was really well reviewed when it came out. It looks really good, and it looks like a proper adventure where you actually have to interact and puzzle things around, with really cool combat that's bow based, so there's a lot of skill in it as well. I bought this game myself on sale a little while ago, and I still haven't got around to playing it yet, but I'm really looking forward to when I do. Beast Quest is our next game. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £1.59, which is really good. This RPG adventure is based on the best-selling books, where you get to journey to save the kingdom of Avantia from ruin by releasing epic beasts from the control of the dark wizard Marvel. It features big boss battles, varied environments, and hundreds of side quests to complete. This looks like a really simple adventure game that's probably best suited for kids, or people that really like the old school action games that were on N64 and that sort of console. It's definitely not a AAA game, but if you really like the sound of it, or you know a kid that you want to buy a game for, there might be a lot of fun in this game, especially for the price it's on sale for, so why not check it out? And hey, if you've never played a game like this before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend it. It's a really good deal, but you can get much better AAA versions for around about the same price as well. So it's up to you really. If you really like the look of it, why not check it out? Otherwise, subscribe, and I'll help you find a better version in another sale. We have another VR game next, Carnival Games VR. It was released in 2017, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.99, which is pretty good. This is a VR mini-game compilation where you get to explore a park, interacting with patrons, and play in 12 different mini-games where you can win tickets to trade for virtual rewards. You know, just like the good old days in the arcades. If you're old enough to remember that anyway. I grew up in a seaside town, so I've got very fond memories of spending long days in arcades on the seashore, picking up tickets and trading them in for Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and all sorts of toys and games. The good old days. Now, there's not really a lot to this game really. It's a mini-game compilation of a lot of old school fun carnival games, which is no bad thing. If you've got a VR headset, you know they're great for parties and for playing with friends. And this is a really good set of games that a lot of people can just pick up and play without ever having VR experience or game experience. So you know your gran and your mum will love it just as much as your cousins and friends. So if you're looking for a party game, why not check it out? It looks really decent and it's at a pretty good price. And hey, if you've never played a VR compilation game before, there's not really that many, and that's a shame because they have their place and they can be really fun too. So if you've got a VR headset and you're looking for a game to break out at parties, this might just fit the bill, so if you like the sound of it, why not take a look? It might just be the game you need, but you weren't thinking of buying. Our next game is Cat Quest. It was released in 2017, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £1.99, which is pretty cheap. In this open world RPG, after your sister has been catnapped, you set out on a mission to rescue her, while exploring the open world, saving your kin and fighting monsters. It features real-time combat using both weapons and spells, and a world full of comedy puns. But this first one's really different and unique. If you're a fan of puns and cats, you'll probably really enjoy it. But if you're looking for a serious RPG, you'll want to look elsewhere instead. Next up is Dagenais Trials of Fear Edition. It was released in 2022, so it's less than a year old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £3.59, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really good deal, as it includes 3 new areas, a new boss, new music, more story elements, a secret ending, extra powers and mechanics. So they really went all in with this edition and threw in a lot of extra content, which is great. And the main story is set in the world of Salt, on the brink of collapse, the population oppressed and isolated. And now you play Dagenais, a hero who has arisen to save them. This has some old school 16-bit graphics, and it's a Metroidvania game, so you know what you're getting there. It's a great genre, and this looks like a pretty decent game, so if you're a fan of Metroidvania games, you should check it out. And if you've never played a Metroidvania before, there are other better deals available right now, so subscribe so you don't miss out. Up next is my star by Dick Wild 2. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and it's on at least an 80% discount for the price of £3.19 or £1.59 with PS Plus, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a dirt cheap price, especially for a VR game, and a really good quality one as well. This on-rails VR shooter requires Move controllers, so if you don't have them you can't play it, and it also supports aim controllers, which is great. You can't ask more from a VR shooter really. Local lakes and ravines have been infected by a toxic outbreak, so it's up to you alone or with a friend to shoot up everything to save the day. It features a variety of weapons, 2-player online co-op, and giant enemy bosses. The 2-player online co-op is a nice touch. That'll add a lot of replayability to it, if it's still active that is. One of the best things about VR was it brought back this genre. I used to love Time Crisis and all those sorts of games in the arcades, and now you get to see those sorts of games again with VR. And it's a lot more immersive and fun as well. You just can't complain really. And this is one of the good ones. It's got high production value, and it's a sequel as well, so they've had time to improve on the first. So if you've got a VR headset and you like on-rail shooters, this is a really good one, so you might want to check it out. And hey, if you've never played an on-rail shooter in VR before, they're a lot of fun, especially compared to the 2D ones. It's just really great. VR really improves them a ton. And on a side note, the first game is also on sale for 80 to 90% discount for the price of £2.39 or £1.19 with PS Plus. So if you've got PS Plus, you could buy both of these games for under £3, which is a great deal. It's my star buy, but hey, if you really like the look of it, you can pick up both for under £3, which is a really cool deal. Like I said, it's my star buy. Definitely take a look at it. It's well worth the money. Dying Light Definitive Edition is our next game. It was released in 2017, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £11.99, which is really good, especially because it includes all of the content of 4 DLC packs and 22 bundles, plus improved visuals and view distance for PS5, which is a free upgrade as well, so you don't have to worry about which version to buy, there's only one. In this first-person open-world survival game, you get to roam a city devastated by a mysterious epidemic, where you run and climb through the city, scavenging supplies, crafting weapons, and fighting hordes of flesh-hungry zombies, especially at night, where the zombie strength grows and the nocturnal threats emerge as well. So night can be a really dangerous place in these games, and pretty scary as well. This game has a ton of good reviews, and a load of people love it, and this is a really good version of the game with a ton of extra content included for the complete experience. It's a great game, with a really good deal and a ton of content. So if you like zombie games or open world survival games, you might want to check this out. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun if you do. And hey, if you've never played a game like this before, this is a really good one, at a really good price. So it's not a bad place to start. You might be able to get some cheaper, but they won't have as much content as this game has. So if you've been waiting to get in on this genre, this isn't a bad time to start. So if you're interested, definitely take a look. I'm sure you'll really enjoy it. We have a strategy game next, Fell Seal Arbiter's Mark. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and it's on at least a 70% discount for the price of £5.99 or or £4.99 with PS Plus, which is pretty good. In this turn-based strategy RPG, you get to play as the arbiter Kyrie, an agent of the Immortal Council, tasked with preserving the stability and order throughout the land by leading a number of troops through difficult battles. It features over 40 story missions, 20 classes to play, and over 200 abilities to use, which is great. It seems like it's got a ton of content, especially for a small game. You don't see that many turn-based strategy games these days, especially ones with RPG elements as well. XCOM pretty much dominates that game genre, so it's nice to see some smaller indie games getting in on the action as well. And this looks like a pretty decent game as well. It's got good reviews and a lot of people seem to really like it. So if you're a fan of turn-based strategy, definitely check it out. You might never have heard of it before, but it might just be the best game you've played in ages. Definitely take a look if you like the sound of it. And hey, if you've never played a turn-based strategy game before, then this looks like a pretty decent one to start with, but you can get other AAA ones for not too much more than this, with a ton more content as well. So it's up to you really. You can either take this game and give it a go, or you can wait for a bigger AAA one to go on sale. You'll get a lot more value for money with that, but it's also a much bigger game and a load more content that'll be wasted on you if you don't enjoy it. So it's up to you really. This looks pretty decent, so if you're tempted, why not check it out? Next up is a legendary game, Final Fantasy VII. It was released in 2015, so it's 7 years old, but it came out in the 90s really, so it's much older than that. And it's on a 50% discount for the price of £6.49, which isn't too bad, but it's also the cheapest I've ever seen it, and it doesn't get much cheaper than this really. Especially as this edition is the PC version that had superior graphics, sound, and also included the Midgar PS4 theme as well, which is nice. In this JRPG, which is the most famous and legendary JRPG of all time, it's set in Midgar City, where you play a mercenary who is contracted to help conduct raids on the city's Mako energy reactors that are believed to be draining the very life force of the planet. And if you know anything about this game, you'll know that's a very tiny part of the story, because this game is beyond epic. Seriously, if you've never played JRPGs before, especially a Final Fantasy game, you have no idea how massive, complicated, and fleshed out the worlds in these games are. If you've never played one, but you're a fan of RPGs, you owe yourself to play them. They're turn-based, so if that's not your style, it might put you off, but hey, they're legendary for a reason, and you're just not going to get stories and experiences like them anywhere else. If you're a fan of the genre and you haven't played them, what are you doing with yourself? Play this game. And hey, if you've never played a JRPG before, this may be an old one, and the graphics may not be that up to date these days, but it's literally the most famous RPG on the planet. So it may not be the best place to start, especially if you can't handle all the graphics. It's legendary for a reason, and at some point, if you like this genre, you're gonna have to play it. So at least take a look at it. If you're interested at all in this genre, it's inevitable you're gonna play it. So just play it. Up next is Fishing Sim World Pro Tour. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 65% discount for the price of £5.24, which is pretty good. In this game you get to compete against over 100 of the best anglers on the planet, unlocking sponsorship deals and gaining a social media following along the way. It also features 10 venues, 29 species of fish, over 50 licensed equipment companies, dynamic weather, and really good fish AI. And it also includes a multiplayer mode where you can make your own custom rules for you and your friends to play with, which is pretty cool. This has way more content than the Eurofishing game, but it also costs a bit more. So if you're a fan of the real world fishing pros, you'll probably love this one way more. We have a Metroidvania game next, Ghost Parade. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the price of £6.99, which is pretty good. In this game you play a schoolgirl who after school decides to take a shortcut through a mysterious forest, and now you've ended up lost in a spirit-infested forest, and get involved in a battle to save the spirit's home from destruction. It features 30 ghost companions to fight alongside, and a really nice art style as well. It looks really cool, although it does have some mixed reviews, so be a little wary if you're not sure. Some people complained there was a lot of backtracking, and the controls were a little confusing, but hey, in general people love it, so if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, and you're looking for a new one to play, then why not take a look at this one? It's not a bad deal. And if you've never played a Metroidvania before, then I wouldn't recommend this game. You can get some really awesome deals on amazing AAA Metroidvania games, so subscribe to the channel and you won't miss them when they come up in the sales, I promise. But until then, take a look at some of the other games on sale instead. Up next is a racing game, Gravel Special Edition. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and is on a 90% discount for the low price at £3.29, which is really good, as this edition includes the Season Pass, with all 5 expansions, made up of cars, tracks, and a load of other content as well, so you're getting a lot for your money with this edition, which is really good value. In this game you race around the world in a variety of environments, through 4 disciplines of cross-country, wild rush, stadium circuits and speed cross. It features over 60 events, and 8-player online multiplayer. It may not be a AAA racing game, but hey, it looks pretty decent, and at this price you're getting a lot of extra content thrown in as well. So if you're looking for a cheap little racer, you might just want to have a look at this one. We have another JRPG next, The Grand Legacy Tale of the Fatebounds. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on at least a 75% discount for the price of £3.99 or £1.59 with PS Plus, which is a great deal for PS Plus users. In the hand-drawn world of Legrand, you embark on an epic adventure alongside the Fatebounds as they attempt to bring peace to Legrand. It features city building and mini-games, tactical military battles, and a mixture of 3D and hand-drawn graphics. This game looks really cool, and it plays a lot like a traditional JRPG game, but with a load of bonus stuff thrown in as well, like the town building and mini-games. So if you're a fan of JRPG games, like the old Final Fantasy games and the like, you should definitely check this out because of this price. It's a great game and you'll really enjoy it. And if you've never played a JRPG game before, then you should definitely take a look at this, because again at this price, you can't go far wrong. It's a really great deal, and it looks like a really good game as well. Take a look at it. Another VR game is next, Megaton Rainfall. It was released in 2017, so it's 5 years old, and is on a 63% discount for the price of £4.80, which is awesome. In this VR action game, with no move controller support, you get to become an indestructible interdimensional super being as you attempt to defend Earth from an alien invasion. But be careful though, as your powers can just as easily level the cities you're trying to save. This game looks unbelievable, and it's really the sort of thing that VR was designed for. You get to fly around the world like Superman, but with other abilities as well, like the ability to fire energy blasts. And then when you land in the cities, you get to take on the alien invaders in their massive robotic machines, as you fly around the buildings destroying them and trying to save everyone. This game has had mixed reviews over its time, because when it came out initially everyone loved it, but then as they updated it some more, they tried to make it more user-friendly for people with motion sickness, and they kinda made it less good for the people that had overcome the motion sickness. Now I don't know what the latest state of play with that is, but it's a good game, irrelevant of whether they've messed with the motion sickness stuff. So if you've got a PSVR headset, and you'd like a taste of being a superhero, fighting an alien invasion, this is probably your only option, but it's a good one. And at this price, I'd recommend it. Why not take a look? And hey, if you've never played this sort of game before, and you've got a PSVR headset, then take a look at it. It might just be the best VR game you've played in ages. I love this next series, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom The Prince's Edition. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 84% discount for the price of £11.19, which is a really good price, as this includes 2 full story expansions, and the Prince's Equipment package as well, so you're getting the complete game with all of the extra content included, which is great, you can't ask for anything else. This is a traditional JRPG, where you play as King Evan as he embarks on an epic quest to found a new kingdom, unite his world, and save his people from a terrible evil. It features a stunning art style by the legendary artist Yoshiyuki Momose, and a soundtrack by Joe Hisashi. The first Ni no Kuni game was brilliant, with a Studio Ghibli art style, and I loved it. This game plays a bit different, and it's not related to it, so if you haven't played the first one, you're not missing out on anything. So if you're looking for a JRPG, then why not take a look at this one? It's a AAA game, with an amazing art style, and great pedigree, well worth looking at. We have a puzzle game next, Peaky Blinders Mastermind. It was released in 2020, so it's 2 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £2.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal. This puzzle game is based on the TV series, and set in Birmingham during the aftermath of the Great War, before the start of the famous TV show. You get to control the key members of the Shelby family, reset in time and changing each character's actions in order to finally succeed in each mission. So you guys know I like puzzle games, and this looks like a really good one. So if you're a fan of the TV show and you like puzzle games, you should take a look at it. You'll probably really enjoy it. And if you haven't played many puzzle games before, then maybe you should take a look at this game, especially if you like the TV series. I'm sure you'll have a good time with it, and it's not a bad price either. So why not check it out? You might just find your new favourite game genre. Next up is a really decent puzzle game, Cube 2. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on at least a 75% discount for the price of £4.99 or £3.99 with PS Plus, which is a pretty decent deal. In this puzzle game you play as Amelia Cross, who is an archaeologist stranded in a mysterious alien ruin, and together with another survivor, you must traverse and manipulate the structure of this forgotten world to find a way back home. I've completed the first game of this series, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good, but it didn't have much of a story, so they've clearly stepped up the production for the sequel, as the graphics look much better, it's got a good story that seems really interesting and mysterious, and overall I'm excited to play it myself. I really enjoyed the first one, and this just looks like a better game with a better story and a better everything, so you can't ask for much more really. If you're a fan of puzzle games, definitely check this one out. It looks really interesting to me, and I think you'll have a lot of fun. And hey, if you've never played a puzzle game before, then this looks like a pretty decent one to start with. It's at a really good price, it's a really good game from a series that I've played, so why not start here? If you fancy a go at a puzzle game, why not take a chance? I love this next game, Stick It to the Man. It was released in 2014, so it's 8 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the low price of £1.29, which is a really good deal. In this puzzle platformer, you are Ray, the hard hat tester who wakes up after a bizarre accident to find a giant pink spaghetti arm sticking out of your head, and now you can read minds and stick emotions onto people in order to affect their mood and what they do. This puzzle game has a lot of quirkiness to it, and it's a lot of fun. I had it for free on PS3 years ago, and it was a really great game. I would never have bought it, but I had such a good time with it, it was really good. If you're a fan of puzzle games, this is different and unique, and it's got a really good sense of humour to it as well. I would definitely recommend it, so if you like the sound of it, definitely check it out. And hey, if you've never played a puzzle game before, this is a really good one. So if you've ever been tempted, at this price, you can't go far wrong. It's really cheap, it's really good, highly recommended. If you're in any way tempted, why not check it out? You may just find your new favourite genre. I really like this next game, Teslagrad. It was released in 2015, so it's 7 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £3.59, which is really good. In this puzzle platformer, you must ascend the long-abandoned Tesla Tower, utilising Tesla Man's magnetic abilities to solve puzzles and progress even higher, uncovering a conspiracy involving the despotic king who rules with an iron fist along the way. I've completed this game. It was another game that was free on PS3 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. As far as puzzle platforms go, this is a really good one, with a pretty decent story and a lot of really fun gaming mechanics. So if you're a fan of puzzle platformers, definitely check this out. It's well worth a look. And hey, if you've never played a puzzle platformer before, this is a really decent one. It may be a little old now, but it's a lot of fun to play, and it's a really good game. So if you're tempted at all, why not take a look at it? It's well worth your time and money, I promise. More VR next, The Mage's Tale. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the low price of £4.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal. Move controllers are required to play this VR adventure, so if you don't have them you can't play it. And in this game, a corrupted wizard, Gaufroy, has kidnapped your master, and only you can travel through the 10 dungeons, deciphering puzzles and slaying monsters in order to find and save him before it's too late. This looks like a pretty decent RPG for VR. The graphics look pretty decent and the gameplay looks really cool. The only thing that concerns me is it says 10 dungeons. Now, are they big dungeons or small dungeons? I don't know, but the game's really highly reviewed, and in VR a lot of games are great, even if they're not as long as normal games. So hey, if you like RPGs in VR, then you'll definitely want to take a look at this, but it's not the only VR RPG. There's plenty to choose from, so you might want to take a look around if you're not too sure. Transpose is our next game. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.74, which is really great, especially for a VR game. It's a really good price. This is a VR puzzle game where move controllers are required, so if you don't have them you can't play it, and that's the way we like it in VR. In this game you get to solve time and gravity puzzles by recording your actions as ghosts and then working together with your recorded ghosts in order to solve the puzzles, so it's really cool. You have to layer up all the different versions of yourself doing different things, all working together to solve the puzzle. You know I love puzzles, and this game looks awesome to me. I've picked it up, and I can't wait to play it. If you've got a PSVR headset and you like puzzles, definitely check this out. And if you've never played a puzzle game before, this one is a really different and unique one at a really cheap price, so you should definitely take a look at it. You'll probably really enjoy it. I really like this series of games. Worms Battlegrounds. It was released in 2014, so it's 8 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.99, which is really great. In this strategy game, you get to pit teams of 4 worms against each other in turn-based strategy battles to the death. It features a story mode, a map editor, online and local multiplayer, clans, leagues and leaderboards. So if it's still active, there's a load of online stuff for you to play, and if you've got friends to play with, you'll play this game forever, I promise. This game came out when I was a kid originally, and it was amazing. Worms when I was a kid was one of the best games. It was funny, it was strategic, the weapons are awesome and quirky, it was just never ending fun. And to be honest, not a lot's changed, because why change what's perfect? If you're a Worms fan, this is a great chance for you to get back in on them and have a lot of fun again. And if you've never played a Worms game, you really owe it to yourself to play it. It's a legendary classic game, and this modern version is really good. Definitely check it out at this price. I promise you'll have a good time, especially if you've got friends to play with. It'll be one of your favourite games ever, I promise. Next up, we have Yoku's Island Express. It was released in 2018, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal. This is a pinball adventure platformer, where you play as Yoku, the pint-sized postman, but when the local deity is attacked, you set out to explore the open world Mukumana Island with your trusty ball to roll around on and save the day. It features multiple quest lines, non-linear progression, unlockable power-ups, open world exploration, and a load of pinball play as well, which is awesome. This game is extremely well reviewed, like I'm talking one of the best reviewed games in history, and I can see why. It's awesomely different. Bit of action platforming plus pinball is very different and unique. If you like these sorts of games, definitely check it out and you'll probably really love it. And hey, if you've never played a game like this before, it's charming and unique, and you'll probably really enjoy it. And the final game I have for you is Yooka-Laylee Buddy Duo Bundle. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £7.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and an awesome deal, as this bundle includes both the Yooka-Laylee original game and the Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair game as well, which is a great price for 2 full games. The first game is inspired by the old Banjo-Kazooie games, where you play as Yooka and Laylee, who team up to explore huge worlds to thwart the evil capital B, while meeting a host of characters and finding loads of collectibles along the way. While in the second game, made by some of the Donkey Kong Country developers, you play as the same characters on a 2D platforming adventure, with a 3D overworld between the levels. So if you're a fan of old school platformers, of different varieties, you'll really enjoy this bundle. And hey, if you've got a kid or something, they'll really enjoy it too. Why not take a look at it if that sounds like you? And hey, if you've never played a game like this before, then if you're okay with the kid aesthetic, you're getting a lot of game for your money, so you might want to check it out. It's worth it at this price, if you're interested. And that's all the games I have for the summer sale PSN sale. What did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones or did I pick bad ones? And what about the star buy? Did it deserve it? Or should some other game have got it instead? Leave all your complaints down in the comments, and we can talk about it later. Anyway, I hope you guys found some games you're interested in, but more importantly I hope you guys saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Au revoir.